The Nigerian army says its troops have continued to record tremendous success in the ongoing campaign against Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast of Nigeria. The acting director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, in a chat with Ben TV in Abuja, said the soldiers have liberated many more towns which were under the control of terrorists.
The level of progress in the fight against terrorism and insurgency. And I can assure you we are making tremendous progress to the extent that our troops were able to recapture Dikwa and its environment, and they are forging ahead to capture more areas and, push the terrorists back into the forest, while our counterparts in the air are also doing their own bit. So we're making tremendous progress. Apart from that also, there were roads that were hitherto closed because of proliferation of IEDs laid by the terrorists. Our troops were able to, sweep them up and open the road, and so many other things.
The army spokesman also explained that the continued visit to the front line by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has continued to be a moral booster for the troops in the northeast.
We just came back from the front line with the Chief of Army Staff, and he spent about 9 days with the troops, and we moved from one unit or formation to another, where he encouraged them, gave them all the necessary support. And I believe, had it been that you watched some of the video clips at Logomani, they were so happy, they were so excited, the Chief of Army Staff being with them and understanding the problem they go through, and promising things and fulfilling things. It really gave them sense of belonging, encouraged them, and you can see the zeal, the desire to do more, in the fight against terrorism and insurgency. Their morale was just very, very high and very encouraging too.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has set 3 months timeline for the military service chief to wipe out Boko Haram insurgents in the northeastern part of the country. Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
Coordinator of the Niger Delta Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, retired, has said that the federal government will do everything possible to make sure that the amnesty program succeeds to the development of the Niger Delta region. General Boro, who stated this when a delegation of European Union to Nigeria paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja to ascertain the level of successes recorded so far in the program, said since inception, about 206 students have successfully graduated from the different schools, and about 285 have been gainfully employed or engaged in one form of craft or the other, adding that since his assumption of office, he has taken some steps to strengthen the program, which includes assessment and verification of the database of the program in order to devise a means to make it more effective.
There has been a lacuna between the Amnesty Office, the stakeholders, the ex-militants, and as well as interested group in this program. It has to do with development of the Niger Delta. That made me to establish a central control system where information can be lodged, because no information is useless.
On the transaction challenges being faced so far by the program, especially as it concerns payment of tuition fees for students overseas, the Amnesty Board said that it has all been resolved.
The null period that existed between when the last SA left and when I was appointed created a lot of stress for the system. Between today and end of the week, our foreign accounts will be credited. That I have achieved.
Speaking earlier, the head of the EU delegation, Brian O'Neill, said one of the reasons for the visit is to ensure that the program does not derail from set goals as Nigeria cannot afford to go through another form of insurgency crisis in the Niger Delta region, promising that the EU will help and also make efforts to attract other development partners to make sure that the region is developed. Speaking on agitations in some quarters concerning the need to transform the technologies of illegal refineries in the creeks to standard ones controlled by the government, Brian O'Neill said if this is anything to go by, it should be done with other health and safety consciousness and considerations in line with international best practices.
The whole question of refineries is a vitally important one to the whole of Nigeria. And the fact that you don't have enough functioning local refineries is a major problem and has led to many of the problems you've had over the past years of fuel shortages. So we can only but encourage the expansion of local refineries, not just of the big ones, the big four as they call it, which have to be brought up to speed. They need proper maintenance, they need to be able to function 100%, but they also need the feedstock, they need to have the crude oil which can be refined. But also you can have micro refineries at a lower level which can do it, but it has to be done in the context of health and safety. A lot of there's too many illegal refineries which are being implemented at great risk to the workers in those refineries and are a major source of pollution. So certainly we should be encouraging the maximum local refinery capacity in Nigeria in general, but it has to be done economically and it has to be done to protect the environment and to protect the workers who will be involved in that.
There was a mini presentation of facts and figures of the amnesty program from inception. High point was the presentation of the souvenir to the delegation by the amnesty boss and the signing of the visitors register at the amnesty office by Brian O'Neill. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejirogen Efifen for Ben Television.
Hi, Mike.
Babe, it's been over
12 hours. Are you done thinking about it?
Is the answer yes?
Convince me.
I know how much
Confident style mean to you. Let me take you somewhere.
What's that?
A superior leading international hospitality chain in the heart of Africa.
And?
They offer very distinct services. Their meeting halls and all their hotels offer conference solutions that can help plan a perfect function for any occasion. They feature outdoor catering and provide services for any size event.
Keep going. You got me thinking now.
The beauty, the decor, and the views. It's the hotel experience you always dreamed of. They have up-to-date entertainment and a variety served at the fast food restaurant and snack bar. Oh, and don't even get me started on the garden bar or the nightclub. You would have everything you need within your reach without having to go out.
Wow. So what if I want to...
Cook? They got you, babe. The rooms are thoughtfully furnished with facilities that aid proper cooking, just like you would at home.
Where is this place?
And it's sweets.
Wow.
So, will you marry me?
Yes. How can I refuse?
Not Sweets, a colorful affair.
Federal government has urged Nigerians in the diaspora to do more in their bid to develop the country by contributing their quota in terms of investment and human capital development. President Muhammadu Buhari, who stated this during the 2015 Diaspora Day Conference held at the State House Banquet Hall in Abuja, said that with the positive contributions of Nigerians in diaspora, the nation can overcome the current economic challenges. Represented by his vice, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the president reaffirmed government commitment to a conducive investment environment for all Nigerians within and outside the country.
The majority of the Nigerian people are poor at this moment. The majority of Nigerian people do not have the means to survive. And it is the duty of government and all of us to ensure that we take that into account in planning, and we take it into account in all the various things that we intend to do, both as government and as private sector. And that is why we prefer the bottom-up approach to economic planning. It's an approach that takes into account the number of those of us who have no means of survival, rather than a top-down approach. The top-down approach, of course, assumes that all is well, and assumes that industry and private business by themselves we'll be able to pull out the several millions from poverty. While that is the case, and while we intend to do so, and to ensure that there is an atmosphere for business, especially for the private sector, to thrive, we are nevertheless not convinced that it is possible for the private sector by itself, without government intervention, to pull as many people as need to be pulled out of poverty in the shortest possible time. This is why government intervention and government spending is critical at this stage of our development.
Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, who used the medium to visit exhibition stand at the conference, was decorated with the emblem of Nigerians in Diaspora Mentoring Corps by the chairman of Ben Television, Alisa Shoede. Permanent Secretary Political Affairs in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ibukun Odusote, in her address, said the day was set aside by government to celebrate Nigerians living abroad, since it has been observed over the years that quite a number of Nigerians are contributing to the economic development of other nations.
The focus for us here, one is to leverage on the skills, expertise, and relationships of the Nigerians in diaspora to address topical issues of national development confronting Nigeria. The second one is to provide an enabling environment, which we are also to provide to nationals that are local, that enables Nigerians that are abroad, if they so desire, to come home in order to fully participate in the development of their fatherland.
I urge you to consider how you can individually and collectively key into the government's determination to change all aspects of our national life and move our country forward.
We appeal to you to be united, to work together for the progress and development of Nigeria. Yes, hopefully, in the life of this administration, by the grace of God, the Diaspora Commission will become a reality. Say amen.
Chief Executive Officer of Ben Television and other diasporans at the conference said federal government should come up with things that will formulate and implement policies to integrate those in the diaspora.
My expectation really in this conference is to look at the quality of the diasporan community, the quality of the professionals in town, and that the president will be able to appreciate those quality and actually use them towards the change that is going on in the country, be it political, be it social, be it economical. Even as we're having the three themes of education, health, sport, and youth, that the quality that are presented here, Mr. President and the Nigerian government will be able to utilize them towards national development. We have to look at the issue of implementation, and especially when we talk about maintenances in the country, Nigeria, that yes, it is a challenge, and many diasporan community feel frustrated that they come with good, wonderful ideas, especially gain experience and gain skill over their host country. And they would like to see similar things being implemented. The question is, do you have people who know and understand what the proposal is all about, what the project is all about for the Nigerian government to implement? I guess now, with the quality and the people on the ground, with the new government on the ground, there is a possibility that implementation of proposal can be executed.
An action in terms of a preemptive action that we should be able to see to be inclusive, preemptive, in a way that everybody participates in that developmental efforts of the administration.
This is an opportunity for us to understand the opportunities that is available for us in Nigeria. So it's nice to be back home and to meet lots of people from other countries around the world.
People who are in the diaspora are people who are Nigerians who, for one reason or the other, are living or working or studying abroad. These people create a pool of knowledge, a pool of skill, a pool of resources for the nation. So what the government is trying to do under the change agenda is to find a way to harness these potentials coming from outside the country.
We are very, very, very eager to come and make an impact in our own little way into the economy of this nation. If we can remit 1/3 of the GDP, just mere Western Union, can you imagine what it's going to look like where we have our commission in place?
2015 Diaspora Conference is organized around the theme Diaspora and Nigerian Change Agenda. to provide a basics for the diaspora and other relevant Nigerian experts and home-based professionals to interact and discuss various issues that will usher in the new Nigeria. From the State House, LM Chukwameka report for Ben Television.